This is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, your Silicon Valley real estate retirement experts. Here today with another video and something that I've come across very frequently over the last 6 months or so, as my team has sought to help individuals in the Silicon Valley real estate space, individual practitioners who have operated their businesses for 10, 20, 30 years plus and have gotten to the point where they're thinking about retirement. And I've had the opportunity to speak with many of these individuals who are planning to do so. And one of the common themes that I'm finding in my conversations with these folks is that they're not necessarily looking to retire right away. And this is something that is obviously not surprising because our industry, while it's very taxing mentally, it's also very rewarding in the sense that we get to interface with people, and that brings life to us, right? And that instills a sense of purpose in us. And so when you take that away in a heartbeat, it can often lead to maybe more, worse consequences than it just staying in business until you can no longer manage to do it because of health reasons, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people just expect that is going to happen. And so in conversations with individuals that are not planning to retire right away, there's an alternate solution for them that can often lead to their business, or we can bring longevity to their business by becoming an advisor and or a consultant, if you will, to the real estate practice that they've built. And by longevity, obviously, when you hear that word, you think, well, we're going to bring life to the business throughout the remainder of the years that you plan on staying in real estate. And then from the time that you exit, continue to nurture and bring value back to the people that you've worked so hard to cultivate relationships with over the last several decades or more. And it's very interesting because when I first embarked on this mission to help real estate agents transition and retire out of real estate, it was very readily apparent to me that there's a huge need for this in our space, particularly here in Silicon Valley, because most real estate agents don't have an exit plan. And when I polled real estate agents here in the Valley, over 75% of them didn't have an exit strategy, and that's a whole lot of real estate agents that are close to retirement age that don't necessarily have an exit plan or retirement strategy. And we just, it's human nature, right? We have so much to take care of. Our business is so demanding that we're caught up in the whirlwind on a day-to-day basis, and we don't have necessarily the bandwidth to even plan for the future. And so it always gets put on the back burner. Then it gets put on the back burner again and again and again and again, until we've come to a point where the business is a fraction of what it was before, and to resuscitate it and bring life back to it seems so daunting and almost so far-fetched that you don't even want to, you just allow it to dissipate into the wind. And what a shame, right? What a shame, especially with today's technology, for you to allow that to happen. And so ultimately, the point I want to drive home is that, yes, you can do less and make more. As an advisor or a consultant here in the real estate space, and we're going to get into how my team allows you to do that by partnering with us. And so I think what the crux or the backbone of our strategy really revolves around the tech-enabled broker, right? And so much has been made about the new technology in real estate, and you should absolutely be cognizant of all the technologies, all the tools that are available to you. The truth is, though, and I know because I have parents, right, and I have people that are very special to me that are older, and a lot of folks here in the office, and a lot of people that we're currently helping transition out. It's so laborious to just keep up with all of the new technologies. I mean, especially nowadays, I mean, it's so hard, even me, it can be really hard. A millennial, 28 years old, it's very difficult for me to even keep up with everything. But we do, because it's important for us to stay with the technology, because if you don't stay with it, you fall behind, and then it's game over, right? So, our team has built an infrastructure in which we can just plug and play our databases into it and allow you to prospect passively and bring value to your customer base passively, where before, every coach out there, Mike Ferry, Buffini, Lorna Hines, Lorna is a dear coach of mine, a great mentor to me, and she's very special. But let's face it, right? A lot of the ways in which they preach to keep in touch with our database is very old school, right? Let's call them. Well, how many times a year can you actually call your database without being annoying? And then how many times do you actually call your database? Probably. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, no one's perfect, and it's very evident, right, in the results, because the results begin to dissipate over time as our follow-up and follow-through begins to slow down. And that is something that we're seeing more and more with real estate agents here in the Silicon Valley. And so how can you position yourself in a manner that allows you to deliver maximal value and maintain or supersede the results that you're accustomed to getting, and then also kind of find a way to transition out of real estate, which is something that I know if you're watching this video is probably something that you're thinking about. And so our strategy really revolves around this, or the backbone of it is, tech-enabled brokerage and systems and infrastructure that allow you to operate with very minimal input, especially if you're partnering with us, right? I have the staffing, I have the resources and the tools available for you. To transition you on to have you partner with us is very simple. Obviously not easy. It does take quite a bit of time. But once that initial activation energy is kind of put forth, the dividends, the payout is huge, because we're really, in this day and age, able to partner with you and have us help you bring value back to your database or other dollar producing assets. Many agents that I'm talking to right now, a big part of their business is a farm or perhaps an online lead generation system. And as we work together, we can find ways we can figure out if it's a profitable venture for us to kind of do that together. And most of the time it is, especially if your capture rate in any sort of geographic area is high. And we have infrastructure and systems in place to actually help your farming and online lead generation systems as well. And again, right, it's not rocket science, but it is a systematic approach that allows you to leverage a plethora of technologies available to you that you are probably not even aware of, that allow you to stay in front of the consumer on a day in and day out basis without being pushy, because I know that's what a lot of real estate agents are afraid of. But the truth is that the value in your business is in the relationships that you've created. And the puffy part is that you will continue to get that value back as long as you bring value to them, because whatever you give out, things will return in multiples, right? It's the law of reciprocity. I genuinely believe in that, and I genuinely believe that someone like yourself who's spent a lifetime creating and cultivating these relationships, you should absolutely not be afraid to be in front of these people and to make yourself known and to be that knowledge broker. And we have the ability to help you do that with very little time or effort put in by you. Consultants, advisors, your role is to your responsibility. Most agents that I talk to that are in your position, you know what they want? They want to talk to the client. They want to interface with the client, perhaps go on the appointment, but all the other stuff, the lead generation, the marketing, listing prep, negotiations, closing, all that stuff, it's time consuming, it's taxing, and not a lot of people want to do it that are in your position right now. And so I completely understand. And that's where we see our team being able to help you by partnering and really moving your business one step closer to being ready for retirement, to be ready for adoption. Because clearly, when you exit the business, if you have no exit strategy, your business goes with you. But with this Selling Silicon Valley transition strategy, what we're able to do is allow you to take 2-3 years after you've sold your last house, perhaps even more, 4 or 5 years, and allow us to transition you out slowly so that it doesn't happen all at once. Because if you wait until the last minute, obviously things can still be done. But if you allow yourself to be an advisor for 2 or 3 years and then slowly transition yourself and phase yourself out of the business, that makes it better and easier for all parties involved, and ultimately allows you to be way more efficient in the way that we're able to help you transition. And so, to conclude this video, I'm sure that you'll probably have a few questions, and my team, I'm always here for you and to help walk you through any questions that you might have. I'm sure that you'll have some. So my telephone number, my cell phone is going to be right there. Please feel free to reach out. And even if you're not a real estate agent here in Silicon Valley, maybe you stumbled across this video on YouTube and you're thinking about selling your business in another part of the country, reach out to me, because I'm, again, law of reciprocity, and I'm here to help. And perhaps through my networking, I've found people that might be a suitable option for you to partner with and to help adopt your business and transition you out effectively and efficiently, and ultimately bring the value and maintain that level of trust far beyond the years that you are selling real estate. So anyways, this is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.